gunny gon' be show. I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother sauce, man. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you ever lost? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a Renaissance, man. I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother sauce, man. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you ever lost? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a Renaissance, man.
Welcome back. That's what's up. Now I watch you. I was second. I beat you to it. All right, man. So it's the off season. You know what I'm saying? The combine is officially done. We're talking about how the New York Jets are going to get better, right? So you've already seen some talk in regards to specific quarterbacks being tied to the New York Jets. You're already seeing the mock drafts are coming out and dictating who's going to go second overall. Jets had a trade during the combine. You know what I'm saying? We let go of JJ for Pounce, an edge for a big body defensive tackle. Lots to talk about. So we're going to go ahead and chop it up tonight, man. We got Tigo in the building. Tigo, we're talking Jets with Tigo is going to be here with us. And we're going to discuss and we're going to talk about how the New York Jets should actually focus on fixing the Jets. Not necessarily what they're going to do, not necessarily what they've done in the past, but how, honestly, common sense in terms of how to approach this whole process to fix this New York Jets. So that's the topic. That's the name of the topic for tonight, man. We're going to talk New Jets football. It's obviously the freaking off season. This is where we shine the most as Jets fans. I'm telling y'all right now. Right, you're talking about, you know, the contradictions between Bain, Arvell Reese, freaking David Bailey. There's talks about Caleb Downs. Now, so much to talk about, man. It's going to be a good time. Looking forward to chopping up with you guys. We've got Wild Chew in the building. He lied, though. He said he was second. He was not second. I was, in fact, second after Tigo was, of course, first. But appreciate you, Watchu, for being here. Definitely third then. No lies about that. Miguel, what's going on, brother, man? Appreciate you for being here. Chopping up with us at the Hangar Hangout tonight. Sonia Gomez, how you doing? Pleasure to have you here with us. Brian, what's going on, man? Nice to have you. Gangrene 44, hey, Jets fans. All right. So we're talking offseason football. We're talking about how the New York Jets can finally get this thing done right. I know there's some individuals who would much rather bomb this freaking season and see freaking Aaron Glenn freaking get the axe, right? But ultimately, I think in this situation, we're talking about how the Jets can actually get better. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get Tigo in the building. Tigo, what's going on, brother, man? Appreciate you. Oh, where'd he go? What's going on? Hey, there he is.
What happened?
What's going on, Tigo? How you been, bro?
Pretty good, man. Busy. You know,
Life, right?
Yeah, life is lifing.
I feel you on that, man. It comes at you fast. I've already told you this already, man. I got a new driver on the road. My second daughter talking about she can't wait to get her permit at the end of the year. I'm about to have another teenage daughter. My daughter turns 13 in freaking a month, bro. It's been.
I don't want to hear that.
It's not fun, bro. It's not fun.
Baby, my kids have finally gotten past that phase of where they're like you as someone who's had many kids, you know that there's like that weird, not weird, but it like out of nowhere you used to have like babies that were like round and squishy.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere you blink
like
and now they're
features.
Just tiny humans.
Yellow humans. Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
And then you're just like, no, but what happened to the baby? And now they both talk and they talk to each other and they talk back. That's the worst one. Like, dude, you're 3. You have to wipe your butt. What do you mean no?
It's part of the process, bro. It's part of the process. Man, listen, I'll say this. My parents used to tell me all the time, man, enjoy it while I could when they were little. Now my baby is my son. He's 10 years old, right? He'll be 11 years old in a couple of months. So it goes by fast, dog. Everything my parents told me about, like, enjoying it while I could, and I was sitting there like, yeah, okay, sure thing. Cool. Funny story, old people. I'm realizing they were 100% right? Yeah. This is, as you get older in life, as you get to our big age, right? You start to realize, like, how much your parents were right about things. And
Everything.
this is what everything, bro. Like
Not just some things, it's almost
everything
everything.
they've ever told me, has come to fruition in life. So, yeah, man. And with that said, I mean, I guess I wish my parents would have told me what it meant to be a Jets fan when I decided to go ahead and go down this road. They unfortunately did not follow freaking NFL football when I was, choosing my team. So I didn't have any guidance from them. I became a Jets fan. And here we are going into year 16 with the playoff drought, one of the most embarrassing franchises in all sports. And we're talking about how to fix this team. How is it possible that we can potentially get this team back on track? We just had the combine. We just had a trade of a fan favorite in JJ, right? Getting traded away, reuniting back with Saleh in Tennessee. We've got assets, man. We've got money. You just franchise tag Breece Hall. You got conversations about Tua with the Jets, Kyler Murray with the Jets. So much going on. So without getting crazy about it, first and foremost, I want to pick your brain, man. What do you think about the JJ trade that just happened a couple of days ago?
I hated to see it happen
Mm-hmm.
because I was the biggest JJ stan, during that draft cycle. I loved his story. I loved his fight. I love you just love a come up story of a guy who never gave up. You know what I mean? I loved all of that, and I think he was working really hard. And early on, he showed signs of this kid might got it. And then the injury happens, and we all know that when you have these players that play these explosive positions, when something impacts their ability to become explosive, it takes too long to get going. And it was the right move to do. When that offer comes in, when Robert Saleh goes to the Tennessee Titans and tries to go get JJ, and the offer is Sweat coming back, you have to make that trade because you're not going to pay JJ if you're this new staff, right? Because he's not your pick. He's not your guy, and he's 1 year removed from an injury. Are you really going to sit there and bank on the kid and hoping that he turns into something when you have on the table a trade for a player who fills a position of need, because you got to get an interior defensive lineman, and he's one of the best in the league at it, T'Vondre Sweat, as in terms of being an interior defensive lineman. I think you got to make that move. Again, I hate to see it go. I think the trade was a really, really good trade for everybody involved. It helps Saleh get his thing going in Tennessee and get his guys, and it helps us get some of the stink away of same old Jets and bring in some new life and guys that are good at football.
That's fair. That's a logical take to the whole process, right? So I'll be the first to admit, when I saw the trade flash across my ex talking about breaking news, Jets trade JJ, and we get back Sweat, I was definitely more emotional about it than logical. I realize that now, what I'm saying, in hindsight. I'm a JJ fan. I love the fact that he gave it his all. I love the fact that he was about the hustle. He always seemed to say the right things. Those are the kind of guys I feel like you can go ahead and kind of build a culture around. Now, everybody will look at, his stat line and be like, nope, not enough sacks. He was an edge. But people keep forgetting how much of an impact guy he was in stopping the run, how much of an impact guy he was against guys like Josh freaking Allen. Like JJ did his thing, right? You didn't see the double-digit sacks, and I understand that. But people are just dismissing it now as if he wasn't a solid edge. He wasn't an elite edge. He was a solid edge. And for me, I felt like keeping him on board, and you still go after an edge, in the draft this year because you've got some better potential prospects, made a lot of sense. You can't have enough of those edge players. You need those guys to get after the quarterback. It's how the NFL operates. But when you sit back and you realize this is really them switching to that 3-4 defensive front, it makes so much sense, right? Sweat is that big-bodied guy. And first thing I said was there are going to be individuals who are going to make the argument well, per PFF, he was a top 5 guy in his freaking position. And that's true. And per PFF, he was a top 5 guy in his position. And when you start watching the dude play, he can give you a little something as well when it comes to getting after the quarterback, creating some pressure. But he is a guy who's going to gobble up some double teams, and he's going to be an impact guy in the run game. So the adult me, the guy that sits back and looks at this team and trying, in terms of progression, you saved a ton of money in terms of cap space. You're right. They weren't going to go ahead and extend JJ. He wasn't their guy. and you get a younger guy, you know what I'm saying, for cheap control over the next 2 years, I think what, 1.5 million a year, and he's going to be a problem in the middle, a consistent problem day in and day out. Now, the thing is I have concerns about Sweat is that you hear some of the rumblings about him being lazy, right? You start to hear a lot of the Mekhi Becton type of comparisons in terms of like very talented dude, man, but his weight is the problem. He tends to be a little bit lazy. And I start to wonder whether or not Aaron Glenn is the guy who's going to be able to get this kid on track. And I'm saying that predominantly because I still don't know if I believe in Aaron Glenn as a head coach. I just don't know if I am. And we've talked about this before in terms of him being a defensive coordinator. This guy wasn't a top tier defensive coordinator, right? He was a good defensive coordinator. And when you start to look at things from 10,000 feet and you take away the emotion of the fact that Aaron Glenn is a Jets guy, he's one of us. He wanted to be a Jet. And you look at you're like, all right, yeah, you were one of the hot freaking candidates, you know, in that rotation. But in all actuality, man, you were okay. You were good. You were good at your job as a defensive coordinator. You weren't great. You know what I'm saying? You weren't elite. And as a head coach last year, we saw what was not good at all. So a lot has to be proven to me. And I don't know if Sweat, already with his reputation, and do I trust Aaron Glenn to got to get the most out of this kid? So that's where I'm at with it. But in terms of smart money move, if you're going to that 3-4, JJ wasn't your guy, all that stuff does make sense. I think for both teams and what they're trying to do, right, it makes sense. Solid gets a guy that he knows, that knows his system, that he trusts, that he drafted, that he was excited about when he brought into the building.
Try to get him in San Francisco
as well. So I think it makes sense for both teams with the emotion taken out of it, right? I can go ahead and kind of sit back and be like, all right, it made sense. It made sense. We've got a couple of highs in the building. Vero Beach, what's going on, brother, man? Nice to see you. Johnny Boy, Tigo, dude, my dude, and Fields failed me. You were right. Yeah, Tigo did call this. I'm not going to pretend like you didn't. Tigo was laughing at me when I was saying, like, you got to think of the what ifs, right? What if he puts it all together? What if he does this? Well, apparently, I played myself. Tigo was from jump laughing at the idea that freaking Justin Fields was going to be the answer. He was right. Johnny, you and I were wrong. And clear as day, like Justin Fields is just not an NFL quarterback.
He surprised me, though. I didn't expect him to be that bad. I knew he was going to be bad. Bad.
It was
right.
It was
that bad. Wow.
Yeah, man, it was pretty horrendous.
Skill out of Justin Fields to get to playing to the level that he was at, which was just wow. Yeah, no, it was rough, man. I have no leg to stand on. There's no defending the guy. It was abysmal watching that man attempt to play quarterback. But boom, we got Ederman in the building, just returning Gunny's beard white. Yeah, dog, like you see the gray. This started, man, about 2 years ago when I started doing the podcasting thing heavy, and I'm realizing like I kept putting myself out there on a pedestal, kind of hoping this Jets team was gonna have my back, and when I'm talking shit and trying to support them, and I keep getting punched in the face. I keep getting laughed at, so the gray started coming in. You would think I got 4 kids. This is where it came from. Nah, this is from being a Jets fan. This is me from being a Jets fan. But yeah, I feel like the JJ trade was set up to draft Bain or Bailey at 2, and 100%. I think after the trade gets done, and to be honest with you now, I don't think it's Bain. I think once you let go of JJ, I think in terms of going that 3-4 front, you're going to need a dude that can kind of stand up as well, get after the quarterback, put their hands in the dirt. Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
You said it a couple times, and I wanted to wait, but I can't. What makes you believe we're going to a 3-4? What makes you think that we're going to go to an odd man front?
Why get rid of JJ? Why get rid
because of the money? You're not going to pay JJ. You're not going to pay JJ. You've seen him a year in your scheme, and Devondre Sweat addresses the biggest issue that this defense had last year, which was you were so easy to run against up the middle. Even when you had Quinnen, you were so easy to run up against the middle. And I get it. He's a nose tackle, but like, statistically speaking, Glenn never ran a 3-4.
I'm looking at the current personnel we have on the roster, right? You get rid of JJ. Will McDonald's really your only true edge, right? Clemens is definitely not coming back. It doesn't like they're going to resign him. They didn't tag him, so good riddance. So you're prioritizing those big bodies in the middle. You got Phillips, you got Briggs, and then you went out and you got Sweat as well, right? So now you got those 3 big bodies in the middle. I just think, to me, man, you're going to use McDonald as your speed rusher. You're going to get another rusher in this draft class, and I do believe it's going to be one of 2 guys, and I don't think it's Bain anymore. And when you look at the personnel, it screams 3-4, right? Like
I disagree.
So you think they're going to stick with
I'm just saying, if you look at the statistics of the NFL, the modern NFL, I think it's over 70% of all defensive formations called in the entire NFL are on even man fronts. So that's 4 guys in the box. Because like 80% of the NFL is run out of the nickel. You don't run the nickel out of an odd man front. You don't run a nickel with 5 guys or 3 guys. You run a nickel with 4 guys. And when we look at Glenn when he was in Detroit, like especially if we just look at his last year in Detroit, which was arguably his best defense, I read an article that said like that 82% of his calls came from an even man front. And those other 20% of calls were hybrid fronts where like one of the linebackers would step up into the line and you couldn't differentiate if it was considered a blitz or if it was considered an odd man front. Those kinds of things. So like, I get why everyone says you're going to go, oh, when you look at, because I think the argument that you said makes perfect sense. If you get a guy like Sweat and you put Phillips and Briggs on either side of him as your defensive ends, and then you have 2 outside linebackers that can't stand over the end of them, you can have a lot of flexibility there. And that flexibility probably goes even higher if you get a guy like Arvell Reese, right? Who can play in coverage really, really well, is probably better suited in the NFL of being an off-ball linebacker. But you have the conversation of like how well developed is his pass rush skill set, but he has one, right? I just don't necessarily believe, I don't know. I just don't necessarily believe that we're going to go into a odd man front because just in the modern NFL, even teams that are supposed to be base 3-4 run nickel 65% of the time. And you don't run nickel out of an odd man front. You run it with 4 guys.
So then
that's my take.
No, that's fair. But again, if in the draft they double dip on edge, right, then I think I feel more comfortable with that analogy that they would potentially go to. I just look at the way the personnel is laid out, man, and for me, it just and I'm in the realm of believing they're going to mix it up. I don't think it's going to be strictly a 3-4 front. I think they're going to mix it up. But the personnel right now favors that approach, and this is why I look at it and I go that route. I think most people are believing that's the reason why you go and you get a big body like Sweat. The dude's like what 360. He's a big fatty, big fat 360
350, 3'4", 360.
Yeah,
he's massive.
He's massive dude. So because it allows you that versatility to go ahead and use those edge guys to get to the quarterback because he's clogging up the middle. So again, makes sense to me. But again, you obviously pulled up some data points on it, right, to go ahead and kind of get a better clarity. I think right now with this current season coming up, Aaron Glenn is going to have to maximize the talent that he has at his disposal. I don't think he's going to have the luxury of playing games. I don't think he's going to have the luxury of trying to tweak it to where the personnel has to fit his scheme. He's going to have to maximize the talent he currently has on the roster if he wants another shot at being the head coach or another shot at another free agency and draft session. At NFL draft next year. Otherwise, he's cooked. I think he's fired. So this is when I look at that and you look at the personnel, understanding that he has to be able to maximize what he can get from this roster, that it makes sense. But if your data you're pulling is there, you're pulling, again, analytics is one of the ways you're able to gauge, your takes. It's hard to argue that. I would bet that it's going to be a 3-4 front based off of the personnel. But of course, we won't know until after free agency and after the draft. We don't know who they're going to go ahead. Trey Hendrickson just got told he can go ahead and test free agency. There's a lot of ways you can go ahead and add those edge rushers you would need to run that even front. So again, hard to argue with you. This is just what I'm feeling based off of the personnel. I think most people are just going off of a gut feeling when it comes to that. So when it comes to that, right, let's talk about this. So the combine just went down. And I'll be the first to admit, I was a big fan of Arvell Reese early on in the season. Mm-hmm. Then I shifted to Bain, and I've been Team Bain for a minute. That combine, man.
Sonny Styles at 2. Make it happen.
Sonny Styles.
Make it happen.
And I love Sonny. I wanted Sonny at 16.
I wanted him
before the combine. I wanted Sonny at 16. But now I'm like, damn.
I wanted to trade back and get him at 6 or 8.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
Sonny Styles, to me, is a freak, man. You're talking about a guy who, he's
the best combine performance ever.
Of all time.
Ever. I'm
This
sorry.
guy
There's not a
is-
single player who's had a combine performance like Sonny Styles in the history of this game.
Listen,
Ever.
Sonny Styles is 6'4", 245 pounds, and he moves like a safety. He ran a 4.4 something. It's gross. It doesn't even make sense. Humanly speaking, a human shouldn't be able to move like that. Like Sonny Styles would immediately erase the issues we've had guarding athletic tight ends over the last decade. Gone. You could put him on any tight end you want to in the league, one-on-one. I'm fully confident he could hold his own. The dude
Tell
was
him
a
to spy
freak.
any quarterback in the NFL, and then he's wrapped up.
Yeah,
Wrapped up.
100%.
Doesn't matter. Any of them. All of them. Josh Allen, right in his pocket. Lamar Jackson, right in the pocket. Patrick Mahomes, right in the pocket. If Aaron Rodgers wants to come back for the 19th year, right in his pocket too. Like, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be faster, more athletic than Sonny Styles. And then you put all of that together with the fact that he's got a really, really, really high football IQ.
Yeah.
He's almost never in the wrong position. Like, a lot of people were like, I'll be upfront and honest right here. I'm not an Arvell Reese guy. I'm not
either, man.
I'm not.
I'm not.
Okay, let me be very specific. I'm not an Arvell Reese guy as an edge rusher.
Yeah.
Let me be very specific.
Yeah, off-ball linebacker.
Completely different. If you're telling me, hey, you're going to go get him and you're going to put him at middle linebacker, I'm on board, but you can't pick that at 2. Unless it's like a guy like Sonny Styles, because he absolutely blew up the combine, right? But besides the point, I look at that and I go, Arvell Reese got a lot of hype and a lot of attention because of like the double-digit sacks and all of the things that he was able to do in and around the line of scrimmage. And that's because, well, we all know that the line of scrimmage dominates football. If you're not a wide receiver, or if you're not down by the line of scrimmage, you're not going to get a ton of attention. That's why we see players like Caleb Downs, who is easily probably one of the best players in this class, not getting a ton of attention because he plays a not sexy position. It's why a guy like Jeremiah Love, I think, isn't getting the attention that he deserves because he's a running back.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of these wide receivers are good, but I think they're also kind of being a little bit overhyped because they're wide receivers. But going back to it, Arvell Reese was able to do what he was able to do because it did not matter what happened behind him, because you had Sonny Styles there.
100%.
Oh, and also had Caleb Downs there. So not only was the deep third completely covered because Caleb Downs had it from sideline to sideline. Oh, so did the middle third was completely covered because, oh yeah, Sonny Styles had sideline to sideline. Like, the fact that Ohio State didn't win a natty with those 3 guys on defense, everybody should be fired.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
Everybody should be fired. All of them. Because it's
at this point, I've gotten to the point after that combine, and again, when I came into the combine, for me, it was Bain, Ruben Bain. The Arvell Reese thing, I get it. He's a freak specimen, but when you watch a lot of his games, right, like, you didn't see it enough on Saturdays. In my opinion, for the guy to be that much of a freak, you didn't really see it enough on Saturdays. Again, off-ball linebacker, baller. Freaking baller. But the whole thought process of bringing him in to be your edge to get after the quarterback because of his measurables and what he can be, I don't understand the gamble. I don't understand the gamble. Right now, he's more of a project, I guess you would say, at edge. And people are arguing like, well, if he sucks at edge, then, you've got a great off-ball linebacker. Cool. But at 2, that doesn't make sense to me.
At 2 and not grading out.
Yeah. Doesn't
anywhere near high enough to be able to go to 2. That's the thing. But if you're talking about Arvell Reese at 8, I'm on board. But if you're talking about Arvell Reese at 2, and you don't know where he's going to play, you don't know if he's going to be an edge, and your backup is linebacker, what if he doesn't work at either one of them?
That's the scary part.
That's like, and I think he works in the NFL. I think he comes in. I think if he goes to a right system who can actually develop talent and like get him going, I think that there is a chance that he goes there. But for every Micah Parsons, there's who did the Arizona take that was also like a freak athlete?
Oh yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know you're not about.
Like super long, super lanky.
Long, yeah.
Didn't know, but he fell into that same kind of category. Where it's like, dude, we don't know what he's going to be. We don't know if he's a linebacker. We don't know if he's an edge rusher. We'll just take him really high to be an edge rusher, and then he flames out. There's way more stories of that than there are of Micah Parsons.
100%. Micah Parsons is an outlier. He's the outlier. He's not the standard. He's an outlier.
Yes.
And I think in a situation like this, the only real answer is going to be Sonny Styles or David Bailey. I think at 2, if you're staying there to pick, you got to go one of those routes. I would prefer Sonny Styles. I would love Sonny Styles. I hope that he's done enough to really make the front office and Muji and AG really contemplate that he's the guy. But yeah, ultimately for me, man, the combine blew me away. And again, it's not just that. It's that
Simmons.
physical...
Thank you, Dino. Simmons was the guy. That
Arizona. Correct. Yep.
Simmons.
Thank you, Dino. Appreciate you. Like, I don't understand the gamble with Reese at number 2. And I get it. This draft class is not sexy. It's not. But just go get freaking. If you want the edge rusher, go get freaking Bailey. But if you want the guy that can get after the quarterback, that can go ahead and cover, get Sonny Styles, man. The dude can do a little bit of everything. So I think that the fear about that, though, was the Alex Balcone guy is going to be a hot target for Aaron Glenn. And I'm wondering if that's going to be enough to kind of like freaking, you know what I'm saying, like push him off of getting a guy like Sonny Styles. We got a super chat from Lou B, Super Jets fan. Appreciate you, Lou. 49 super chat. My biggest fear is we don't take Ty at 16 or move up for him, and he totally balls out. We need a QB so bad. P.S. I would trade Brees and take Love.
Where, though? You're not like I get it. One, I get the whole thing with Ty Simpson. But I think the problem is that you're taking a guy that needs to sit and you have a staff that doesn't have the ability to give him the time to sit.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. So he's going to be forced to play year 1, and that's a problem. And Ty Simpson also isn't so good of a prospect that I would want to give up any type of assets to go and get him. And whether or not you like it or whether or not you want it to happen, just we're going to end up with one of Tua or Kyler.
No.
We're going to end up with one of those guys.
No. If we go with one of those guys, then congratulations to freaking AG. He'll be fired by week 8, bro.
I'm not saying that it's a good. This is not saying that this is what I want. What I want is Glenn never hired, but I can't have that.
No, you can't have that.
Right?
That's
I can't have that. That's not an option.
That's off the table.
But when you look at the Jets objectively, we're one of the very few teams that's going to be able to offer Tua straight up a starting job. I think Tua ends up here. And I hate that I'm saying that because I don't like Tua and I don't think that he's a good quarterback. But I think he's going to end up in New York because we're the only place that's going to be able to give him a starting job. And Frank Reich is going to want someone who can get the ball out on time and just run his offense. And that's exactly what Tua is going to do. And then he's going to come to New York and pop his Achilles mid-concussion. And then it's going to be a whole thing. And now we're going to have to watch Davis Mills out there for 6 weeks because we're going to go get the long neck giraffe to come play quarterback. Like, it's just, I hate it.
If you bring in Tua to the Meadowlands, like this is why this is kind of frustrating that even even brought up, right? So Tua in December is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. You're bringing him to the Meadowlands. He can't throw in the wind. He's 0-5 in games under 40 degrees. And he's literally one hit away, from permanent retirement. Like
death.
Especially at freaking MetLife Stadium. One hit away on that turf, he's done, bro. Like if you do this, then you're not really in this to build the New York Jets. This is what I would call a desperation swing. You go after Tua, you go after Kyler Murray, and you're literally just throwing the name at the fan base in hopes that it's going to be enough to entice us to go ahead and make us happy because you're not really trying to go ahead and win football games. And with Kyler, he's being released for a reason. Like people need to. This is the first overall pick being released from his team. Now, there's questions about this dude's leadership, his study habits, his connectivity with the team. Like it's been constantly negative after negative when you hear about this guy. And the Jets are trying to build like a gritty blue collar identity. Like Kyler is not it. If you look at what the Lions have done, and we keep giving AG all this grace because of, the Lions did this, that, and the other. You do the Kyler Murray thing, and that goes out the window to me. Like you can't convince me that he actually has a vision to build this team in the image of what the Lions did, because neither one of those guys screams gritty or a blue collar type of identity if you bring them in. You bring those guys in because you're desperate and you're looking to go ahead and pretty much in essence just save face and give the fans something to talk about or be excited about.
But is that not what they are? Are they not desperate? Are they not trying to save their jobs? And I get what you're saying, Gunny, because I agree with you. I hate this idea of Tua Tagovailoa. I hate this idea of Kyler Murray. I hate the fact that they're associated with my football team. I absolutely hate it. But I always ask these people, who's there? Who's out there that genuinely, legitimately would pick the Jets at this point in time? You don't have those options. Malik Willis is going to have the pick of the litter of whoever he wants and quarterbacks that need a team. And unfortunately, we're the bottom of the list. If there are 10 teams that need a quarterback, him going back to college somehow through a special exemption is number 10. We're pick 11. Like, we're not an attractive destination with this coaching staff, with this drama, with all of this stuff. If you're a free agent quarterback, you're going to have to go after guys who are going to be in the conversation of, we're bringing them in to compete with our other guy for a starter. But we're going to, the same thing we did with Justin Fields last year. Nobody was offering Justin Fields a starting quarterback job last year. Rightfully so, because if anybody who had eyes watched his tape saw there wasn't a starting quarterback there. But we did. We offered him that amount of money to come be the starter here. And that's what it took to get him to come here. We're going to be in the same boat.
Personally,
Dino said it, and I hate it, but like, dude, Derek Carr is legitimately an option for us. We might have to convince someone to come out of retirement to be our quarterback. That's how in the dumps we
are. I look at it this way. If you can get Jameis Winston for a fifth, or you can get a Jacoby Brissett for a fifth, you're way better off than any of these options, because those guys at the very least are going to try and assist you in building your culture. Both of those guys are high character guys. Jameis Winston is going to be exciting for us to watch, kind of fun. He's going to throw a lot of picks. It is what it is. He'll be fun to watch. You have, in my opinion, have a better chance of enticing the fan base and actually saving your jobs if you go after a Jacoby Brissett or you go after a Jameis Winston. And that's where I would go to get my bridge. I'd go that route, and then I would get a guy like freaking a Drew Allar in the 4th or the 5th, bring him into the freaking building, see what he can do with some freaking coaching from the guru that is Frank Reich. I personally do not like Ty Simpson. And to go back to the super chat, right? I hope the New York Jets are not even in the conversation for Ty Simpson in the first round. I don't think he's a first-round talent. I think right now the desperation aspect of needing a quarterback is the only reason why he's even being discussed as such. I think at best you get him in the second round, you feel better about it. I don't like Ty Simpson whatsoever. If the Jets draft him, I'm going to complain about it, but I'm going to, of course, support the kid, because why? I'm a New York Jets fan first, and I'm going to hope it pans out and I'm wrong. But Ty Simpson to me screams Mac Jones, and I just want nothing to do with that in the building. And I also think he's limited. People love how technical he looked, you know what I'm saying, in shorts in the combine. But I watched those last freaking 6 games of the season with freaking Ty Simpson, man. This is a guy who's not ready. He gets rattled very easily. Some will say he didn't have much of a supporting cast in Alabama, and that's cool. Alabama quarterbacks don't tend to do very well once they come into the NFL. I don't believe Ty Simpson's going to be the guy that changes that narrative. So if you're talking about getting him in the second, fine. With our desperation aspect, he's worth a swing. I hope the New York Jets want nothing to do with him in the first. I think in the first, you got to go after Sonny Styles and one of those wide receivers. Or if somehow you can get Sonny Styles and a David Bailey or even a Caleb Downs, I think that's the route you want to take. I'd be willing to go ahead and trade one of those second-round picks to move up to go ahead and make sure I get one of those legitimate top talents on defense. And that's just my thoughts on it. Ty Simpson is not a first-round quarterback. I'm sorry. He's just not. And I think he's going to be a career backup at best. That's his ceiling. But I can also see him out of the NFL after 4 years. I think right now the reason why he's even getting this kind of love is because there's no other options. After Fernando Mendoza, there's really no other quarterback option that really excites you. You got a bunch of guys who were considered first-round talents, you know what I'm saying, a year ago, went back to school. They're now being talked as 4th and 5th round talents. So for me, yeah, nah, man, I'd rather risk it all on Jameis Winston and Jacoby Brissett for a fun season so we can get our quarterback of the future next year than bring in a Kyler Murray or a Tua. My gosh, man, if you bring in Tua and you give the dude, you pay the dude money, or you trade assets to the Dolphins to get him in here,
No, that
the joke writes itself. The joke writes itself in all actuality, man. And that's why, for me, the thought process of it makes me sick to my stomach, man. Like, just absolutely gross. Now, the whole trade Brees and take Love thing, man. Love is going to go, I would argue, in the first 10 picks.
You have to take him at 2.
You have to. So you have to take him at 2, and there's just no way. We're not a team that has the luxury of splurging on a running back when we had so many holes. This team is nowhere near ready. He'd be wasting the next 3 years of his career before we're even. There's no point. So, and again, you got running backs who have a shortened lifespan in the NFL as well. So you would waste 3 years of it by picking him up, the second overall pick. I think he's an incredible talent. Honestly, I think between him and Caleb Downs are probably the 2 best players in this draft class. But again, they play those positions that, as Tigo would say, aren't the sexiest. So they're gonna pay for that when it comes to being drafted. So as great as I think Love is, I just don't believe that we're in a position, you know what I'm saying, that would benefit the New York Jets at all. Like, in the next 3 years. Like, he'd just be fun for us to have on the roster.
It's exactly what happened with Brees.
Yeah,
We took Brees,
yeah,
but much higher caliber. I think Love is much better than Brees. Let me be very clear there. But, like, it'd be a fun couple of years having a running back that can just kind of do everything, but, like, we would waste it because by the 100%. Time we're ready to compete, it would be his year 4.
Yep.
And then you're not going to pay a running back. I will also say this with all the stuff that you said about Ty Simpson. I am higher on Ty Simpson than you are, but if he's there at 16, I think that's the pick. We need to hope he doesn't make it there to 16.
I think he will be there at 16. That's the thing. I don't
think he makes it to 16.
I think he's going to be there towards the back end of the first round. I don't see. Yes, the combine was cute. It was cute. He showed all the technical prowess. You know what I'm saying? Throwing the ball in shorts and no pressure in his face. This dude is an older prospect. This dude looked like lost for the last 6 games of the season. Lost.
I don't disagree with you.
I
think he's a first round guy. I think he should be a late first round guy. But like you said, there's other factors, dude.
Yeah.
There's one guy, and teams need quarterbacks. Arizona's going to need a quarterback. The Giants, no, not the Giants. I'm sorry. The Browns need a quarterback. The New Orleans Saints need a quarterback. Miami's going to probably end up needing a quarterback. The Rams still have the Atlanta pick at 13. They could take a quarterback. Like, there's so many teams here that are going to be in that position where they're going to try to take a quarterback. But also, let's not forget that this is smoke and mirror season, to give you a little bit of like it might be a thing of just put the story out there that we're going to take Ty Simpson at 16 to try to force somebody to trade with Dallas, to try to force somebody to trade with Cincinnati, or hell, if he gets to 16 and have a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers and go like, we were going to you want Ty Simpson? We'll trade you 16, but you got to give us, half of DK Metcalf's essence so we can inject it into somebody so we can have half of a decent wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like, not a full DK Metcalf, just half of them.
I'll be surprised if Ty Simpson goes before pick 20. I'll be surprised. And I understand the quarterback situation is dire. I do, but if I'm a GM and like you said, these guys need quarterbacks, and it's not like they're all going to have forever. I think the Raiders would be the only team that would have the leeway of maybe taking the gamble and it not impacting them right away. You're going to take a guy where he's limited. What does Ty Simpson do that's great? Like, you know what I'm saying? When I look at this dude, what's his superpower?
He doesn't have one. None of these guys do. It's a bad quarterback class.
It's a bad quarterback class.
That's the thing.
It really is.
We're staring down the barrel of another 2022, except for the fact that we actually have a quarterback that's worthy of going in the top 10 in Fernando Mendoza. And then everybody outside of that is a question mark. Do you remember in 2022 where people were talking about Malik? I think it was Malik Willis. Willis going 1 to the Lions.
I remember.
That was the thing. Not 1, 2. He was going to go 2. He was going to go 2 to the Lions. That was the big shakeup. Oh my gosh. And then None of the quarterbacks went. And then we had to wait till pick, was it 18, 20 before Kenny Pickett went? And then the next quarterback went in like round 3. And everybody thought that it was going to be Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, Malik Willis. They were all going to go in the first round, and none of them, except for Kenny Pickett, went. And the only guy that went was Tiny Hands.
Baby Hands Pickett.
Bro, I tell the story all the time. NFL teams need to hire me as a consultant just for the combine because I've got the perfect solution to figuring out. Forget the measuring your hands and all of that stuff. Because there are guys who have small hands who can sling it, who can hold on to it, can be secure at the ball. The test that every team in the combine should do this. I'm putting this out there for free. NFL teams, if you do it, at least give me some credit. Have them order a Chipotle burrito. That's what you do with your quarterbacks. That's no. You ask them what their order at Chipotle is. If they get a bowl, ain't for me. And if you are fumbling around trying to eat your burrito, and if there's anything other than double meat on there, you ain't my guy, dude. Get yourself a Chipotle burrito, and I want to see you hold it and control this burrito as you're. I don't know if you guys can tell I'm hungry. I haven't had dinner.
It sounds like you're starving, bro.
I really am, dude.
Chipotle burrito.
But I've been saying this for a while, dude. I'm just saying, if they can control a burrito, because they're big boys. It's a big boy, you know what I mean?
Burritos ain't no joke. They pretty big.
So,
honestly, ideally speaking, the Clip Farm has what would be the best situation that could happen to us in this draft class is that you are able to trade back in the draft and get more picks to fill all the holes. Like if the thing is this though, I've heard this from a lot of individuals. Who are you trading up for? And and like who? There's nobody that's enticing enough that a team really would want to risk assets to come move up and go grab. Like there's no clear number 2 player in this draft. It's Mendoza and then everybody else. It's Mendoza and Mendoza again, like the kid.
Doesn't even clear the other people, by the way. He's just there because he's a quarterback.
A quarterback, 100%. Like he's not even the best player in this draft class, not by a long shot, right? I'd say you put him in the top 10 in terms of overall talent, but I think a lot of him is more of the intangibles. But he's going first overall. That's it. Like it's a given. After that, it's a mixed bag. And then who's giving up assets to move up to pick, you know what I'm saying, between a bunch of individuals, right? So yeah, I would love that to be the case, Clip Farm. I really would. I just don't think that's going to be feasible because there's nobody exciting enough that I think is going to entice some general manager to go ahead and sacrifice assets to move up for in this draft class.
I think you might have a conversation now. You might have a conversation with a guy like Sonny Styles in the terms of like maybe you could convince a team to come up, right? But you could just wait till 4 and not give as much because I don't think the Cardinals are going to take a linebacker regardless of what happens. And I don't think the Titans are going to take a linebacker regardless of what happens. So you end up with the first team that could take a linebacker being the Giants. Now, I don't think they should take a linebacker, but it is a need. And you have a really good one. So then why not just wait to go talk to a head coach who has shown a history of more than willing to trade back in Robert Saleh?
Yeah. Honestly, I think the JJ trade kind of showed the cards to everybody what the Jets need to do or going to do. I think edge is going to be the direction they go with. And I think, unfortunately, it might be Arvell Reese because he's the hot name. All right. But if you want the edge, I think Bailey makes more sense personally. But at the end of the day, I think Arvell Reese is the hype guy, and they're looking at his ceiling and what he could potentially be. And to them, I could see them really telling themselves like, yeah, he could be our combination of Sonny Styles and freaking Bailey. He can get after the quarterback and play the linebacker thing. So I do think it's going to be Arvell Reese. I would prefer Sonny Styles or Bailey. Sonny Styles is my number one. I would love Sonny Styles.
I would take Bain.
You would take Bain?
I would take Bain.
Elaborate on that. So you're still on Team Bain even after. Okay, and this is my stance on this, and I understand, right? Because I watched the kid play. I think he's a monster. I think Ruben Bain is a freak, right? But when you start talking about the arm length and you're looking down, again, statistically speaking, you're looking at historical data, it doesn't end well for him in terms of being able to be who we've seen in college at the NFL level against those bigger, faster guys with those long arms who can go ahead and make things difficult for him. And again, this is pick number 2 we're talking about. Do I think Bane can play football at the NFL level? I do. I do believe Bane's going to be able to play football at the NFL level. I would go as far as to say that he might be a guy that makes a couple of Pro Bowls doing what he does best, getting to the quarterback. But I do believe that his ceiling has dropped a bit, right? When you see just how short his arms are. Like, we knew they were short, but my gosh, they're short.
31 inches barely.
That's concerning, especially for the number 2 overall pick. That's concerning.
I totally agree with you. So there's a couple of reasons why I'm not totally out on Ruben Bane. I agree with you. I think the arm length question is a question. It is a concern. I'm totally there with you. But while he did not have arms as short as Ruben Bane, and I don't think that Ruben Bane is anywhere near the level of prospect as the guy that I'm about to say, let us not forget that the best player that Glenn had in Detroit coming in was also talked about having short arms, only has like an inch and a half arms longer in Aiden Hutchinson, is a short-armed guy, right? He's a short-armed edge rusher. He graded out in the bottom 10% of arm length. Where he won was in his height. He's 6'7".
Yeah.
Right? But when I look at a guy like Ruben Bane, I think the on-field tape shows that, you know what? He can do it. He can do it. So I think that his floor is really high. But also, I just don't love the idea. And this is not me trying to dog on a guy like Reese or Bailey or any of these other edge rushers in this class. But I just have a really hard time looking at the New York Jets and saying, okay, we're going to get another 6'3", 250-pound edge rusher. We have one edge rusher on the roster right now, and it's Will McDonald.
Yeah.
And he's 6'3", 250 pounds. So now you're looking and you're saying, okay, David Bailey is 6'3", 250 pounds. Is that really what we need? Is another Will McDonald? And then let's I'm not talking about skill set. I'm just talking about straight up size.
Right.
Straight up just size. And then it's like, okay, maybe it's not Bailey. Maybe it is Arvell Reese. Okay, 6'4", 245? That's what we want? Another small edge? And so for me, this is why Sonny Styles, I've been a Caleb Downs guy until the news came out about Caleb Downs. I wanted Caleb Downs at 2. I said, F the positional value. Caleb Downs is one of the best safety prospects I've ever seen in my life. Go get him. After the knee stuff came out, I'm really concerned.
Well,
but
to be fair, that was proven to be false.
Is it?
Yeah, that
so
was.
There's no knee thing.
There's no knee thing. Like, okay. So apparently it got out. Somebody was trying to make a name for themselves, but like every NFL GM, the medicals were brought. Like, no, what are you talking about? Like, we didn't see any of this. Like, this wasn't caught on our MRIs, none of our freaking. So there's nothing anywhere else by anyone who's actually inspected him
in the NFL.
In the NFL, that's like, yeah.
I thought it was real. And I told you, I
did too. Phones. I thought it was real, and I was just like, "Damn, that sucks." That's gonna drop him a little bit. But no, it came out.
2 different businesses, so I ain't got no time to stay on Twitter. I saw the notification. I was like, "Well, that sucks," and I put my phone down.
Nah, but like, it was proven to be satire.
Either way, I look at all it. That's why, again, at 2, I think like a guy like you go for the home run. You go for the guy that's going to work in the NFL no matter what, and is going to go get you Pro Bowls, and is going to go get all pro selections. And to me, the only guys that I look at in this draft class that go and scream that are Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles. Because if you go and get any of the other guys, there's going to be something that you're going to have to talk about where it's going to be like, if you get Ruben Bane, it's just like, okay, yeah, Ruben Bane played at Miami, had a great thing, but like, dude, this is one of the shortest arms we've ever seen, and the statistics point that this is a horrible idea. And then you go, okay, Sonny, then you go David Bailey. Cool, David Bailey, great edge rusher, but has struggled against the run, and we need people to protect on the run. We already have a short double-digit pass rusher. Double-digit sack pass rusher. Do we need 2 of those guys? You just You just step up into the pocket and hand the ball, run it up the middle. And that same kind of conversation happens with Arvell Reese, where it's just like, not only is this guy light, but he's also not a full-time edge. So you have to come in and fundamentally teach him how to play his position at the NFL level. And there's not really a good foundation there. So yeah, I'm team go get Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles and like F them picks in terms of like trading back, because no one's going to come up.
Yeah, no.
So just get the best player. Literally doesn't matter who you take, he can play. There's not a single player on this team that's not replaceable. Not one. Not one.
Well, Garrett will.
There are better wide receivers than Garrett Wilson. Not in this class, but every single one of these guys is replaceable. I'm not saying in this class. I'm just saying, like, there's not a single player on this class that has a starting job guaranteed no matter what. There's not going to be a better guy that you can go out and get. There's not one. I love Garrett Wilson. Totally. But tell me he wouldn't be better if he was wide receiver 2. Not even wide receiver 2. What if he was wide receiver 1B? What if we had Nico Collins? How much better would that be if we just had Nico Collins?
I think Garrett's better than Nico Collins.
No, but I'm just saying he had a running partner.
Oh, no, 100%.
If we get
another wide receiver in there.
I said, I wasn't.
1,000%.
You're right. I'm not saying Nico is better than Garrett. I'm just saying, like, but there are, like, if you were to tell me, like, oh, we're actually going to do the fake thing and trade for Joe Burrow, and we're going to go get Jamar Chase in that trade as well, and we're going to trade all of our first-round picks for as long as we have Joe Burrow. Like, yeah, Garrett, guess what? You're wide receiver 2 now. Deal with it. That's Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair. That's fair.
What are you going to sit here and do, bro? Like, shut up. That's Jamar Chase.
We got a super chat, another one. Miguel Padilla. Appreciate you, brother, for the $5 super chat. All right. So he's saying, be patient, everybody, for QB. Jets have 3 picks in the first round next year. Colts will likely suck. Cowboys aren't going to be much better. And I'm in that boat. I think next year is the year we get our quarterback. And Miguel, you said it beautifully. Like, we've got to be patient in this thing. A lot of people right now are thinking we're going to suck this year, guys. Like, we're going to suck this year. This is going to be the year we break the drought. We're going to miss the playoffs again. I think the ceiling for this team will be 6 wins, but we're going to be in the conversation. Huh?
That's generous.
But I'm just saying ceiling, and I'm just saying based off of what we're going to, if the draft goes well, free agency goes the way we think it's going to go, your ceiling is 6 wins. I think personally, we're looking at, if we're being honest, 3 wins, guys. This is gonna put us in that top 3 pick situation. We're really in the conversation to get the first overall pick next year.
We're guaranteed a top 6 pick. Worst case snenario with 6.
100%.
Worst case scenario 6.
And I think we need to be ready for this. I think that we need to stop looking at this year as this is gonna be. It's gonna be painful. It's gonna be another painful year.
Glenn's gone by week 8.
I agree. I don't think Aaron AG makes it through the season. This is gonna be a tough season for us. So again, I think we've got to get in the mindset of just looking at this year and looking at the end of the rainbow. That is the draft class for next season. And that's another reason why a guy like Kyler Murray doesn't make sense to me. Because Kyler Murray doesn't move the needle. He's going to get us an extra. I would say Kyler Murray would probably come in here and sneak in 2 extra wins that we shouldn't have won. I'll give him that. He's probably good for 2 more wins. And what's that going to do? Drop us from the first overall pick to pick number 2? He's not the answer, man. He'd be a Band-Aid that prolongs the suffering. Exactly my point.
That's the point, but that's what they need to do.
I
think that's the best shot they have at saving their job.
If I'm Muji, I think I've shown enough to Woody to where I rate the opportunity to pick my own coach, since I didn't pick AG. So if I'm Muji, I'm looking to make the New York Jets better, right? The roster better, and AG's feelings be damned. I'm going. No, I
agree with you, but
better, right?
But I think that argument works against you because Kyler and Tua are going to come in on the league minimum.
I don't think they make this roster better. You're talking about,
but that's the point. They don't. That's the whole point, Gunny. They don't. Muji is an AI robot. He understands he can't get the quarterback position better this year. He can in 2027. Look, and let me be very, very, very clear. I hate these 2 guys. I do not want them on my football team. I would scream and riot, and I'd be the first one with the pitchforks and the Molotov cocktails marching down One Jets Drive to burn it down. Burn it down. Let's move the team to London. Like, I'm done, right? I'm totally there with you. But if you're Muji, what you need to be able to do is just sell Woody on the fact of, let me do 2027. Let me do 2027. We did the thing that Glenn wanted. Glenn didn't want me to take a quarterback in the 25 class. He didn't want me to take the quarterback in the 26 class. We have all of this ammunition. Let me take my guy in 2027. Oh, and guess what? We don't have to worry about any other quarterback money. We don't have to worry about any other quarterback on the roster because intelligently, I gave Glenn exactly what he wanted. He wanted a veteran. I got him a veteran. And I only paid that veteran $1.7 million to come on this team. And that's it. Let me get my guy. Let's reset the quarterback room. And I think that that's the conversation. If you're Muji, which Rich Cimini came out today and said that, was it today? Over the last sometime during this week said that if Glenn were to be gone, depending on how this draft goes, Muji has built up enough goodwill to survive the head coach. That he's built up enough goodwill to survive the head coach. I think the best way to do, because what are you going to do? You're going to trade a pick for Jameis Winston, who has 2 years left on his contract? That's what you're going to do? I'd love it. Give me Jameis. I love Jameis. I want a Jameis. If Jameis came, I'd buy a Jameis jersey because I love Jameis Winston. That's not even a joke. I'd buy a Jameis jersey. That's what's going up there to answer. Johnny asked what jersey is going to go up there to replace it. I was like, ask Gunny. He gave me this one, but it was going to be like, it's going to be a Jameis jersey. I'll go get a Jameis jersey without a doubt. But like, you're going to trade an asset? That's what you want to do? If you're Muji, that's what you want to do is trade an asset? I don't know about that.
Now, you know what? Yeah, if Muji's playing chess, I guess, yeah, let's give AG what he wants. And
we know
easier mark.
We know Glenn is playing Go Fish, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's what Glenn is playing.
Yeah.
That's where, but he's playing Go Fish with like Uno cards, so it's not even right. Like, he's just in the wrong. We know Glenn has no idea what he's doing. We've learned that. But Muji has made very, very good and intelligent moves that have positioned this team to really be successful post Glenn. And so that's where, when I think about everything, it's just like, Muji has put himself in the driver's seat of this team. He's now looking at, how do I get Glenn out of this place? How do I bring in my guy? How can I build this team? The best way to do that is to get a quarterback that's not going to get you wins, but maybe that's what they did with Justin. That's what Glenn tried to do with Justin Fields. That's what Tua does. 1 year, league min. Come on. Let's see. And you get to play Miami twice. So what happens if you beat them? We won't, but what happens?
It would not beat Miami, bro. Somebody said something that I thought was kind of funny because I think it's absolutely true. No, Jay Martinez, I appreciate you for the comment, bro. Titans will make the playoffs and be better than the Jets in 2027. And I think
Guaranteed.
That's 100% accurate.
Guaranteed.
Salah will make it to the playoffs before the New York Jets get this thing figured out. I think that's 100% guaranteed.
And they're going to win a playoff game.
Yep.
They're going to make it and win a playoff game.
They're going to get one. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Be
honest, shadow of a doubt. Are we... Is this even a conversation?
Yeah, this isn't a debate. Like, if this was a Cowshy moment here, I would definitely freaking sign up on Cowshy.
Bet the house. Bet the house on it.
Bet the house on that one. That's happening.
Yeah.
Jesse says Aaron Glenn is getting 3 years, man. I disagree. I don't listen. I think there was a part of Woody that wanted to fire Aaron Glenn this year. I really do. I think that Woody wanted to fire Aaron Glenn this year. This is also why I think Woody told him, like, shut up and color you. I'm not giving you money to pay another freaking defensive coordinator. You figure it out. That's what I'm paying you all this freaking money for. I think there's a little bit of animosity in terms of the way he set Aaron Glenn up to go ahead and find a whole new coaching staff.
Because everything flipped. None of people remember that.
Yeah,
it was all
100%.
conversation. The whole conversation was, I'm not going to call plays and I'm not going to do this. I want to find a defensive coordinator. And then from one day to the next, everything changed.
I'll be calling plays.
It was like right after he came out and said, no, I'm here to be the head coach. I'm not here to be the defensive coordinator. The very next day, Wink Martindale falls through the thing because he's calling the defensive plays. It was guaranteed. Wink was already in New York, ready to sign the papers. It 100%. Seemed like that's where we were headed. And then out of nowhere, after Glenn comes out and says that he's not going to call the plays, 2 or 3 days later, oh no, I'm calling the plays.
That
the
was
billionaire gave him a phone call.
Yeah.
The billionaire gave him a phone call and was like, "What? I'm paying you $10 million, and you're not even the thing that you're supposed to be good at. You're not even going to go do. No, go do your job. Go do the thing that you're supposed to do."
That's not the marks of an owner who's got all the faith and confidence in his coach. He's going to go prove to me you're worth my money as to what I'm giving. Is what he was pretty much told. You're going to prove to me that you're worth this freaking money. And I'm sorry, I just don't think they're going to have the pieces to be able to do it. And again, I don't know if Aaron Glenn is a guy, right? He was a good defensive coordinator. He wasn't great. He wasn't elite. And we just saw last year he looked abysmal as a head coach. Again, year 2, can he somehow change the historical data? Can he be an outlier and turn things around? I guess it's feasible, but the data is not on his side, man. Like the historical facts state that Aaron Glenn is destined to fail more so than he's destined to succeed. And I think Woody didn't fire him. Don't know why. I think if you have the balls to go, I think the money aspect is probably a big key of it. Maybe it just made him feel sick to have to eat up, you know what I'm saying, 3 more years. Yeah, another guy. I think that hurt a little bit,
especially
which is probably why.
Aaron Rodgers, he just paid Aaron Rodgers $100 million.
Exactly. I think that's why. That's the only reason why AG's got a job right now. And when AG wanted to go ahead and hire his freaking no, you're not doing that. Show me you're worth my money. Is what he got. Show me you're worth my freaking. I'm paying you $10 million a year. You're going to be the head coach and the defensive coordinator. I'm not paying you to go ahead and get a top 3 defensive coordinator. I do not think he's on the hot seat. I don't believe he's got 3 years guaranteed. He's on the hot seat. And if you don't see improvement next year, I'm telling y'all right now, I don't think he makes it through the whole season. I think
if you don't see wins, I think Woody's not in the game of this is going to be a rebuild.
Yeah, same here.
That's not what he is, because everything is down. I don't know if you guys are paying attention, or if you've seen all this stuff, but all of the numbers on the New York Jets on a whole are down. Viewership on YouTube is down for stuff with the New York Jets because it's hope and belief is at an all-time low. Sales are at an all-time low for any of the merch. I said I'm not buying any new merch.
Season ticket holders did not renew their season tickets. Finally, Jets fans are like, I'm sick of this shit.
They're
done.
putting their money where their mouth is. And a lot of this is in direct response to Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn didn't come here and say, this is a rebuild. Aaron Glenn came out and he chose his words very particularly. He said, I'm here to win football games. Those were the exact words that he used. That's the standard that he set. What's the famous quote? We're built for this shit.
Yep.
Built for what? Losing?
to catch L's?
No, we can't catch. We didn't get a single interception.
We can't catch interceptions either.
All I'm saying is I agree with the sentiment. I came into this going what is he talking about? This team is very clearly in a rebuild.
100%.
It's either go all in on Aaron Rodgers or blow it up and go into a rebuild. Those were the 2 options. We didn't go. We cut Aaron Rodgers. It's very clearly a rebuild. And then he doubled down on it. He's like, nah, we're going to win football games.
I think that's where Aaron Glenn fucked up. And I'm saying this because we all knew. The fans knew. The content creators knew. Everybody was telling y'all, man, this team was way further away than we thought. We didn't have the pieces we were under the impression that we did have. This is a full rebuild. When AG came here, we were all talking the same shit. This is a full rebuild. AG then gets up there and tells us, this isn't a rebuild. I've watched the tape. I've seen the team. This was all about coaching. The coaching is what was the issue with this team. And now we're going to fix it. We're going to go ahead and win football games. That's what he told us in his opening presser. And it made me believe well, damn. I mean, he's the coach. He's a head coach. Maybe he sees something that the rest of us didn't see. I'm thinking we don't have talent. He says we do have talent. We're just poorly coached. He's going to figure this thing out. And he proceeded to have the worst season, you know what I'm saying, in my lifetime for the New York. I mean, with the Kotite years back, they were bad, but this was a horrible year, an absolutely horrible year. And that's our head coach. That's the head coach that told us in the beginning that it wasn't a freaking talent problem, it was a coaching problem. Those were his words. It was a coaching problem. And you proceed.
That's the thing. You can't take shots at a previous regime. And say, no, we can get wins. This is a right. No, the right thing to do is to be cagey with the media and to just be like, look, I'm coming in. I don't know. I did my research on this team, but we're going to do an evaluation process. We're going to see what we got here. This is my team, and it's going to take time for me to get my team playing the way that I want this team to play football. We're not here to lose games, but we're going to try our hardest to win. Like, if you say that, I think that sets an expectation of like, okay, he didn't say we're going to get into a rebuild because no one other than the Jaguars that one time ever came out and said we're going to go into the rebuild. I think there's 3 teams in history that have explicitly come out and said that we're going into a rebuild. I think it was the Jaguars a couple of years ago. The Rangers in hockey literally came out and said, yeah, we're doing a rebuild. They put it out in a public memo with the Rangers logo on the top, and there was like one other team. But you don't come out and set the expectation and saying like, we're going to win football games. This is a team where we're built for this. It's just like, bro, come on.
Hey, Billy, listen, if Aaron Glenn comes out and gives us a playoff season, I will be the first to jump on and be like,
words.
I'll eat
buy
my
a Glenn
words
jersey.
gladly. I'll buy a Glenn jersey. Listen, guys, I'm a New York Jets fan. I want my team to win. If Aaron Glenn becomes an anomaly and he somehow turns this team and he's the guy, I will gladly eat these words. I will apologize on live. I will be doing it in an Aaron Glenn jersey. The thing is, the data tells us we're being very hopeful if that's the case. But I'd be more than happy. I'd be more than ecstatic for the New York Jets to turn things around and be a legitimate freaking NFL franchise for the next 2 decades under Aaron Glenn's tutelage. I wouldn't be mad about that. I just don't think he's got that in him. I just don't think he's the guy. So if I'm wrong, trust me, I'll be right here in front of the camera talking about like, man, how dumb was I back in freaking, you know what I'm saying, back in February or March talking that shit. Be glad to talk about it. But I don't know, man. I just don't think that's going to be the case. Dano. Oh, he's leaving. All right. Have a good night, Dano, man. Appreciate you, brother, for stopping by. And it's already 9:00, dog. We didn't even get into free agents.
We could do a whole. We could do
3
hours shitting on Glenn. Come on,
this would be
the easiest thing to do.
This went a little long. All right. So the show went a little bit longer in terms of what we were expecting, right? So jump right into it real quick. In terms of free agents, like is there anybody you look at for this free agency that you just got to have? Somebody that you want just to go after to bring into the building you think is going to make this roster better, not just for the now, but like for the future as well?
I would love. Okay, so there's like 3 guys that like I would just love to go out and get.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily think we're going to get any of these guys. And like one of them is just because like I love the player, and I would love to go get Mike Evans. It makes no sense.
Okay.
It makes no sense. He wouldn't want to come here. He wants to
Nah.
probably go chase another ring. He's probably going to end up on the Rams, if we're being honest. He's probably going to go end up on the Rams. Like, it's the only thing that makes sense. But I have loved Mike Evans for the last 13 years. He's phenomenal, and he's one of my favorite players. I would love to be able to get a Mike Evans jersey. But I do think that there is a world that if you can, it might be worth it if you can do like a 2 or 3 year deal. There might be some type of conversation with Stephon Diggs. I get it, he's 32, but if you can get him like a mid-level contract to just come in, we literally don't have any other pass catcher outside of Garrett Wilson, and I don't think he raises the ceiling, but I think he raises the floor of this team, and so I would love that to be a player that we go get. And that's really like it. Like, I would love to end up with one of the edge rushers. There's a lot of like interesting edge rushers that are going to like shake free. And I would love to end up with just one of them. You know, I just don't, again, we're not in the business of signing 29 plus year olds. That's not what we're doing. So like, who are we signing? Like, who are these 25, 26 year olds that are going to shake free, that are going to like change the face of the team?
I'll tell you.
Who?
I'll tell you. The guy that I can't believe is a free agent. That this team didn't tag him, they didn't freaking re-sign him, and is going to be available to go hunt down. Tyler Linderbaum did not get a franchise tag. He did not get a freaking offer. He's going to be a free agent.
Yes.
He is a generational center. I'm talking about.
I agree.
This guy is solid in the A gaps. We're going to get a young QB next year, whether we decide to get a guy in Allar this year or you bring in somebody that's interesting. Nevertheless, he's going to be the guy next year. He's only 25, 26 years old, like you just said. He's young. and he's been a top center in the NFL since he's been in. I don't know how the Ravens will let this man walk. It makes zero sense. I wanted him in the draft.
I did too, so badly.
I wanted him so bad in the draft, and now he's available. Tyler Linderbaum is the guy.
So you're gonna let me ask you this question then. I agree with you. I love Tyler Linderbaum. The reason I didn't bring him up is because he's gonna get Creed Humphrey money.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Creed Humphrey got $72 million.
Mhm.
Average per year of 18.
Yep.
He's going to so the minimum for any team signing is going to be 18.5. That's the minimum.
Yeah, I think we'd have to pay.
He's going to get 19, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So what? And here's my thing. If you're the New York Jets, I don't think 20 is going to get him in the door. I think you're going to have to
reset the market. 20 million.
I totally agree, but you got to pay a Jets tax. Remember what we did with Morgan Moses? We're back in that conversation. Not Morgan Moses. I'm sorry. Mosley, CJ Mosley. Remember how we broke the linebacker market when we signed CJ Mosley? Yeah, we're going to have to do that with Tyler Linderbaum. So the question has to come back. And if the answer is yes, I'm all on board. I'm with you. I would do it. But would you give him 21, 22 per year for 4 or 5 years? Yes. Obviously, you structure the contract so there's an out after 3
100%.
years, and it's like half of it. You know what I'm talking about, the cap shenaniganery. But would you give him 22 over 5?
I say yes, and the reason why is because you got your left tackle and right tackle under contract for the next 4 years, right? To include their option, and you're drafting a quarterback next year. If you've got the center, your tackles, got to figure out the guard situation, right? But I think then you would move. You would move current center to guard. Having a brain fart right now.
Tittman?
Our current center, thank you, Tittman. You move him to guard. He played really well at guard this year as well. You move him into freaking guard. You need to replace Don Simpson, right? You got a very young offensive line. I think a guy like Linderbaum literally takes our offensive line into that top 5 conversation. Like it's top 5 offensive line. And you give them a year to go ahead and figure things out this year together. That means your rookie quarterback next year comes in and you've got a wall in front of him of not only talent, but intellect, high IQ football players in front of him as well. I'm giving him $21 million a year. And I'm doing that because it's going to make my quarterback's job next year that much easier. That means the running game gets opened up dramatically with him in the building. The quarterback, he would in essence be what Mangold was to Mark Sanchez, right? He can help him see the game a lot better, see the field a lot better. He's calling out all those the way he's
protections. He's moving everything like
I cannot believe the Ravens did not bring this man back. I don't understand I'm baffled by that personally. But fine. He's available now. If you want to give him $21 million a year, give it to him. Give it to him. You move Tittman to freaking guard. You've got center flexibility with him as well, right? Some versatility there. But now it's just replacing John Simpson.
Do you not just move Josh Myers there? He played center the whole year last year. You brought him back on a really cheap deal. I'm not saying you do it. I'm just bringing up
ideally.
Conversation.
I'll say it right now. I would love to keep Vera Tucker, but I think he's going to ask for
me too. I have the jersey. I'd like for it to stay relevant.
If you could somehow tell me you're going to keep Vera Tucker and you're going to bring in Linderbaum, now you're talking top 3 freaking offensive line in football when everybody's healthy. That's a top 3 football line in football when everybody's healthy. Now,
the draft that I think we're going to end up with, and this is my ideal because I would love to bring in Vera Tucker, but I think we ultimately end up this way. I genuinely believe you're looking at Arvel Reese at 2, which again, I'm not the biggest fan of, but like Vega at 16 wouldn't surprise me. Now you have an offensive line left to right of Olu, Vega, Linderbaum, Tittman, Membu. Ooh! Then you just call up the Mannings and be like, bros.
Hey, Arch.
Look at this offensive line. You don't gotta talk to Arch. You just call his dad and be like, look at this offensive line. He could have a tea party back here.
Archie, I mean, you gotta call granddad. He's calling the shot. You gotta call granddad.
You know what? You're right. You gotta call grandpa.
You gotta call
granddad. Look at this offensive
line. Look what we did.
Line.
Look at the O-line.
We did this for
him. This is for him. He's gonna be
you
upright.
guys owe us. And you guys always, because Peyton went back
Yeah.
to school. Come on.
We didn't
Make
forget.
it right.
We didn't forget. This is your chance.
Make it right.
I'm telling you, man. If Linderbaum gets in the building, and I'm with
Don't let him
Charles on
leave,
this
whatever
one,
he wants.
he's a stud. Whatever he wants, bro. If you get him in the building, you pay the man, you keep him in the building, because it's not just the value of what he's going to do for your offensive line this year, what he does in the running game. It's what he's going to do for the young quarterback you're going to have to draft next year. You're going to have to draft one next year. And if you're afraid of somebody running back to college because it's the Jets, when you're showing them that you've created a foundation for them that's going to allow them success, and we're going to put one of the best offensive lines in football in front of you, top 3 O-line, right? I think it's going to be hard for a quarterback.
Young O-line.
Young, exactly. Top 3 young O-line. Like you're going to grow with these guys. It's going to be kind of hard for anybody who's trying to come out of college, who's looking to have success and actually believes in their skill set and themselves. And I think, yeah, I can work with that. That will be a
new offensive coach too.
That's the thing too. Offensive-minded head coach, get him in the building, bro. Like, listen, hey, Muji, make it happen. I'm telling you right now, man, Tyler Linderbaum, he's that dude. He's that dude. It's going to be expensive. It's going to be expensive, but this is the guy that can grow with your franchise quarterback you're going to draft next year. You're in essence investing in the success of your franchise quarterback by bringing in Linderbaum. That's what you got to look at it. You're investing in the success of your franchise quarterback you're drafting next year. So for me, that's the one guy. I'm also a big fan of Alec Pierce, right? Like if Alec Pierce gets brought into the building and you can couple him with freaking LeGarrette Wilson, I wouldn't be mad at that either. I see that he's a free agent. Mike Evans, I love Mike Evans. I'm with you on that one. I love him. I just don't think that.
No, it's not realistic.
There's nothing. There's no reason, right, for you to come to. We're not even a playoff contender.
For him to come here, a lot of things would have to go wrong.
Significantly.
A lot of things would have to go wrong.
Yeah, bro. Significantly so. So, yeah, I don't see that happening. But Alec Pierce, I mean, yeah, you'd probably pay a tax for that too. Listen, if you can get me Linderbaum, I would consider free agency a massive success. I'd give free agency an A+. If that's the name you bring in, that's the big name, fine. A+. I'm giving you an A+ on that. So, yeah, man. I mean, I think ultimately the whole point of today's show was just being realistic about where we're at as a team. Like, we're not going to be good this year. We're just not going to be good this year. It's going to be a painful 2026. We need to be prepared to suffer this coming year. And honestly,
so much.
Don't be shocked if it's uglier this year than it was last year. Don't be shocked by that. I think we should see some improvement if you're getting the right pieces in the building. I don't believe in the head coach. I don't think the ownership believes in the head coach. And if the quarterback options you're talking about is going to be Tua or Kyler, then like you're legitimately going to see I think the locker room might start to stink a little bit with those two guys in the locker room. It's going to be ugly, guys. You might just buckle up. It's going to be an ugly freaking season for the New York Jets. But the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is a top 3 pick that gets you one of those stud quarterbacks coming out next year. And Jay Martinez says it perfectly, man. We've been suffering. You know what I'm saying? What's one more year? We've been dealing with this for 16 years now, guys. What's one more year? One more year. We got to get the quarterback right. I'm sick and tired of us just missing out on that franchise guy because we won one game more than we needed to. And this is coming from a guy that roots for wins constantly. And I don't ever look at the draft as being the end goal. But knowing this purgatory that we've been in, I'm over it. I just want this team to be relevant again in my lifetime. And at my big age, I'm only getting older. So I would like for that to happen sooner than later. So for me, if we got to go ahead and take these L's that are coming in 2026, so be it. Just get us a franchise quarterback in this building in 2027 and an offensive-minded head coach.
Knows what he's doing.
Yes. Preferably an offensive-minded head coach because that is the way now. That is the way.
I just don't understand how in like the span of 10 years, we've had one of the worst offensive coaches I've ever seen in my life in Gase.
Yeah.
And in the same decade, go and have one of the worst defensive head coaches we've ever seen in my life in Adam Gase. In Aaron Glenn. I just don't. How do you do that Like that, you have to try to do that, right? Like that's what Woody is trying to do, right? Can't collect records for winning, so we're gonna just collect records
them
for losing.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
At this point, you got to start to wonder, maybe that's the approach, is since we've sucked so bad, you know what I'm saying? Like, why not just freaking be great at it? If you're gonna suck, just be great at it. Be great at being bad at this thing called football. Oh man. Jay Martinez, I live in Chicago. Not a lot of Jets fans out here, but me. I live in Houston, Texas. Jay Martinez. There's oddly enough a lot of us in the Houston area, but we're just spread out all over the place. So there's not like it's hard to kind of like get a group of us together on one side of town to watch a Jets game. You had to go to the Jets bar that's in like the middle of downtown Houston in order for you to do that. So I feel your pain, brother. Would you pay Tyler $30 million over 3 years?
That's absurd.
Is that $30 million a year or $30 million over 3 years?
If it's $30 million over 3 years, he's not taking that money.
He's not taking that,
right? Because he's gonna get 19
easily. But if it's $30 million a year, oh geez, now we're just getting dumb. Yeah, he's great. I think he's great, but it's still center. $30 million a year is gross. I would be willing to go up to 22.5 a year for Linderbaum, and I would feel comfortable with that. And I would sell it to myself as we're investing in the development of our franchise quarterback for next year. That's how I would be okay with paying $22.5 million per year. $30 million per year is absolutely gross. There's just no way. It would suck to see him walk, but it is what it is. If that's what he's asking for. Jesse goes, I swear Woody is using the Jets as a tax write-off somehow. Hey, man, he's going to be able to calculate a lot of losses this year because from a lot of people that I'm hearing from are not going to games. They're not buying jerseys. They're not buying merch. Like it's. I think this year Woody might feel how pissed off we are as a fan base, more so than any other year. Like we've all been very hopeful and we've bought into the offseason. We've won the offseason and thought that's going to be. But at this point, I think we're all just pissed. And there was a bunch of Jets fans that I know that did not renew their freaking season tickets, man. They're done. They're like, nope, I can't do it. I'm not doing it anymore. And honestly, yeah, I think he's going to feel it this year. But like you said, though, he'll be able to go ahead and use it as a tax write-off because he's going to have to be able to calculate a lot of losses when it comes tax time. Brian says, my limit is $28 million a year. I'm going to assume, Brian, you're referring to Linderbaum. $28 million, man. Like,
dude, $28 million is $10 million more than what Creed Humphreys is making at the same position. And like, where are you guys getting this number? He's the only other person.
Yeah.
It's Tyler Linderbaum or Creed Humphrey is the best center in the NFL.
Yeah.
In what world is Tyler Linderbaum getting $10 million more than Creed Humphrey?
So
the number is 20.
I think what they're saying is that's how much they want. That's how bad they want this guy. Like, I think, Brian, what you're trying to say is like, that's how much you would want him on this roster, which I can appreciate because I do believe like he's a stud, but yeah, man, I'm at 22.5, and that's significantly resetting the center market by doing that. $28 million a year, man, like that's like wide receiver one money, bro. That's a lot. That's a lot of cash. Charles Grum with a super chat. Appreciate you, Charles, man. Hey, Gunny, thank you again for the Gastineau jersey. FY, I still have it. I have it in one of my closets. All right, cool. So congratulations again to winning that giveaway, Charles, man. I appreciate you, man, for your support. Glad you're loving it. So Charles was talking about whether or not he was going to wear this thing out and about. It's an autographed Gastineau jersey, mind you. It's an autographed, verified autographed jersey. And I was just like, nah, bro, you need to hang that thing up and hang it up on a wall. So I'm glad to know that it's still in the closet, man, and you haven't rocked it yet. But hey, at the end of the day, it's your jersey. You do whatever you want with it. But man, no problem, man. Appreciate you, man. I'm glad you like it. And I appreciate your support. All right, ladies and gents. He's going to get 25 mil or more. Who is?
But based on what? What contract does he have to go into any NFL football team to say, I deserve $7 million more than the Super Bowl winning center? I don't have a Super Bowl. Creed has 2. So I deserve $7 million more than that guy? Dude, I love Tyler Linderbaum, but like, let's be realistic. If he goes to an absolute crap house team that has no business having a player like Tyler Linderbaum, he gets 22. He gets 22.
Yeah.
If he stays in the Ravens or goes to any other contender, he probably gets 19 to 20.
19. Yeah. 25. Man.
25 is absurd.
Jesse's like, it's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. 25 is
25?
crazy for a center, bro.
Wait, dude, honestly, if you're the GM that offers him 25,
you're getting fired.
What are you doing? No, not just you're getting fired. You're getting ousted from the NFL because all of the owners are going to look at you and be like, what are you all the other GMs are going to be like, what are you doing to the mark, my guy?
Who the fuck is that guy, man? What the 25 million?
The only person who can do that, okay. Oh, wait. Jerry's stupid. Jerry might do that. And Jerry doesn't care because he's going to die soon.
Yeah, Jerry Jones is counting the days, bro. He knows he's on the back end of it. So, yeah, he wouldn't care. But I don't even think Jerry Jones would do that, bro. Like, that dude is a stickler when it comes to his negotiations. So I'd have a hard time seeing even Jerry Jones doing that. All right, ladies and gents, I appreciate you guys for chopping it up with us, man. Tigo, tell the folks where they can find you, brother.
Honestly, right now, just kind of floating. I float wherever I can sneak in a couple minutes. I do it. I'm just busy, man. Once tax season is done and we can calm down and I go from operating 2 businesses to operating 1 business, we'll be doing more things. Tax season, wild.
Nah, I feel you on that. I appreciate you, dog. Listen, you can find him on Twitter. He does have a YouTube channel, but he hasn't posted in a while. But definitely his socials are in the description, man. Go give him a follow. Tigo is always a good time, man, when it comes to talking about the New York Jets. Very passionate guy, very knowledgeable guy. So I appreciate you, Tigo, for chopping it up with us today in the Hangar, brother. Next week, we're going to have the Dom C on the show. Going to be breaking down some prospects for us. Talk about freaking the NFL draft. We're going to talk about the combine. You know, this is the guy that I tend to go to when I have questions about particular players and what we should be looking at. Dom C is an incredible teacher, and he'll be at the Hangar with us next week talking about some prospects. So, without further ado, Tigo, any final words?
Go Jets. Even through all of this random stuff. Go Jets.
Always, bro. It's always go Jets. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you guys in the Hangar next week.
I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother sauce. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you ever lost? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a Renaissance man. I can do it all, I will never fall. It's the Renaissance, you know that I got the mother sauce. You know I'm the boss, I know what it costs. Have you ever lost? I'm so versatile, yeah, I'm a Renaissance man.